to shadow agents. Fall is here, 2025, and we've traded the summer shirts for hoodies. Looking good, Armand.
Thank you so much, Ryan. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. I'm Ryan Dennis, head of marketing at OpenServ, and I'm joined by our inventor, our resident genius, our CTO, and our host of Shadow Agents, Armand Amjalar. How you doing today?
I'm amazing. I'm very excited. Today is one of those epic days, and I don't know. I want the demo gods to be on my side today. I really, really need them.
Yes, the demo gods do love you more than they love OpenAI, so we will take advantage. And yeah, I said we're wearing hoods today. True shadow agents are always ready to be hooded. This is the first episode taking place in the autumnal solstice. Right now, it's officially fall in 2025. Can't believe how
Yes.
quickly the year has gone through, and how quickly we are already on episode 4 of Shadow Agents. So let's catch everyone up real quick. Episode 1 was about the shift from coding to agents, a little bit about N8N and the differentiation from OpenServ. And I don't think anybody has asked me how is OpenServ separate from N8N after that episode. And we showed how OpenServ flips the developer mental model. You don't have to build the AI brain, just declare functions. Let the platform do the orchestration. Episode 2 took it a little bit further. We walked through some different instances of how AI could be improved for voice and reasoning and the specialization of OpenServ and how agents can hand tasks to each other to solve complex jobs. What does agentic really mean? And episode 3 introduced human assistance. We showed how agents throw exceptions when they need clarity, and we took you on the back end of the braid technology that everyone was so curious to learn about. Sorry we missed you last week. Hit a restart, and we're cleaning shop here for some huge announcements coming up. That's what makes OpenServ a startup, right? You never know what to expect. But we're back here with episode 4, The Reasoning Edge. So, Armand, let's start with something real, as we always do. I'd love for you to kind of introduce what we're going to be seeing today. I believe we're going to finally see another demo of a braid voice. Is that right?
Correct. And maybe I think it makes also sense to take a step back. And I guess it was like episode 2 where we discussed the OpenAI demo, right?
Yes.
And there was I was actually there in person. There was a show, a demo on stage where an OpenAI voice agent made a call to the person on stage and wanted to order pies. And it was all fine and dandy, and we actually had real pies at the at the very end of that show. But it didn't go really well because there was a mix-up of variables and some critical information the agent needs to gather. And we were discussing how reasoning is important in this context. And you just cannot let that agent call thousands of people or millions of people on behalf of other tens of millions of people, right? That's like if you're going to deploy something at that scale, it needs to be a little bit more established as a solution. Obviously, it was a demo, but as demos go, I was a little bit, God, please, it should not come down to this. And the demo gods should help this man on stage because I know how hard it is. And I was particularly interested in that because 6 months before that, maybe like 8 months before that, I was tasked with a similar challenge. And that basically contributed to the birth of Braid, right? It was like these voice agents are unreliable, and I'm building this for an enterprise. It's just not going to work like that. Like I cannot really ship this. I was like, okay, I have to invent something. My Turkish followers will know from my streams, I always say, well, there was this thing out there and I didn't like it and I built my own. I wrote my own from scratch, whether it's like some libraries, some, I don't know, electronic gadgets, devices, some kind of software. I like to do things my own way. And this was practically such a breakthrough. Like I said, okay, this reasoning thing will be a game changer. Back then, I also need to remind you that there was no voice mode for OpenAI APIs, so it was just not available. It could generate audio, but couldn't hold a phone conversation. So you would have to pipe it through other models, like first get the text from OpenAI, interpret it, figure out the answer, then send it to 11 Labs, take the audio and send it back to Twilio. In this case, it was also the API that OpenAI used to finally, let the other person on the end of the phone hear the voice, the response, which obviously meant a lot of latency. But like this technology was just not available back then. And then the demo that I saw on stage from OpenAI was the announcement of their real-time voice agents, real-time voice chat with dubious reasoning. And I was like, okay, I need to bring this to voice agents. And today we're going to see a similar voice agent, something that we discussed. I'm not sure if it was the previous episode or the episode before. Some demo I built imitating a large white goods producer in the world. Obviously, I'm not to name them. And we're going to show a scenario of how we can put Braid in action. And this was something that the community wanted for a long time. And I hopefully, if the demo gods are with us today, we'll be able to demonstrate how this works in practice, how Braid can be utilized in such a scenario in an enterprise setting with all the requirements and the performance and the reliability that they expect. So yeah, I'm very, very stoked.
All right. Well, let's get into it, right? I mean, I think it makes sense to hear your journey. You orchestrated OpenAI, 11 Labs, you've seen the Twilio pipelines, you've seen their main failure points, and you're learning from the mistakes of others. So perhaps you
Right.
could share a screen with us, dare I say, give the people what they want.
Yes, I may. Now,
Okay. And while you're doing that, I want to give some housekeeping. We've got a lot of stuff. I see you praying to your idols there.
yes,
Uh,
and they're answering my prayers. Look at that.
yeah. Well, I'll ask Jesus to help us as well. I think the main thing that I want us to understand here, what we're looking at, is the difference, as we went through the first few episodes of Shadow Agents, between the illusion of thinking, as Apple calls it, and real reasoning. And so when you actually match this with an actual voice agent, you can actually see how this could potentially scale to an enterprise use case, right? If you don't have a voice agent fumbling around, making mistakes, not following their bounded reasoning objectives, then you can actually save your call center a lot of money, your supply chain a lot of inventory, and perhaps save a company millions, if not billions of dollars over time. So this is not something potentially cool. This is not vaporware. What you're seeing is live and direct, being tested by all kinds of sized organizations right now that are seeing if OpenServ can be their solution for the future. And I think I don't want to give away too much, but I think you'll be seeing our names in some headlines very soon. So, Armand, you let me know when you're all set to go.
Yes, so let me share my screen. It's always a hassle, right? The tab selection things. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Now,
I can
do
add
you
it to
see
the
it?
scene. Yes, I think we can see it now.
Great. Now, um, this is, I guess, the first time Ryan is also seeing this screen. So it's just
It is.
a pretty demo that I prepared with a lot of numbers and untitled titles here. So Ryan, what do you think this is? What does it look like?
It kind of looks like part of maybe a platform where you can decipher different kinds of conversations or actions. It says voice agents at the top.
Right.
Select your call type. Wow. Outbound calls,
So
inbound calls. Enterprise
this is
level looks to me.
yes, this is a prototype demo that I hacked together that allows you to build voice agents basically to call people. So today I'm going to be demonstrating an outbound call agent. And, just to give an idea, we could have different expertise areas for these agents, different agents for different things, with different tones, with different styles, different speech rates, a lot of different personality traits that we can customize. So let's go with Clara. Now, what happens when you're working with a call center department of of such a huge white goods producer is they already have these agents, human agents that are doing these things, right? Like they're always working on new scripts, new campaigns, and there's a lot of churn as well. So there's a clear need for some training and some sort of a script. Do I make sense?
Without a script, you're never going to get the deal. You're never going to get the job done. Every single call center, every sales center, they all have a script. It's extremely, usually it's memorized in order to work there.
Right. So this is the script I got from them. It's a real script that they give to a human.
Wow.
Can you read that? I hope it's legible on screen as well.
Yeah, our conversation will be recorded. I can already hear the telemarketer calling me right now. It's giving me nightmares. Yeah. But this will be better, I'm sure.
So no, basically, like this is the script that they gave me, and they said like we want an AI agent that does this. So, like, how do you think this would go if I were to give this to a foundational model? Like only this. What is this? It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I was thinking maybe like more instructional, more kind of, maybe a flow chart. A flow chart would be great if you gave a flow chart, sorry, to an outbound sales agent. Maybe they could follow that flow chart and not make many mistakes. This leaves a lot of room for interpretation and understanding as well, right? It's kind of difficult to make something out of this. Now, here's the first bits that we used Braid for. Let's take this and convert this into something the machine can understand and an agent can make phone calls with. All right. I'm going to click create and let's see what this is going to give us. I hope, again, like the demo guys are with me today. I did this many times over and over again. If they work, they work. If they don't, well, it's a POC. And right now in the background, there's a large process that analyzes this phone call script. Well, 10% of a phone call script. And turn this into something either humans or machines can use. So think of this platform as a call center management end to end. Doesn't have to be outbound calls for a certain scenario. Like it can record all of your calls, analyze them, but also it can be used for training. It can be used for changing those scripts, versioning them, right? Creating variations on them. And maybe finally, you can have a kind of an operational handbook of how this call center should operate. And, this is not only for the AI agents as well. This is where you can revamp your entire enterprise software stack if you're in this business. And why this is important is basically we're saying from the very start, AI is here to augment your work, to make it better, to make it easier, right? And this is something that AI can do. If you don't have this step of what we're going through right now, you wouldn't be able to onboard any enterprise. Because like if you give them a blank canvas and say, hey, now here's how you instruct the AI agents, now rebuild all of your scripts. And they have like 500, 600 of these scripts for every product, for every line. In this case, we're going to be showing a warranty extension for a washing machine, but obviously there are like many others, right? So how are you going to do that? It's impossible for an enterprise team. Like even if you get the buying decision at the very top, the teams will be reluctant to move over to this platform. It's going to take them like 6 months, maybe a year to enter all of their information on this platform. And let me actually see if there's something on the back end that's not working out.
And just to follow along here,
Oh no, it
it
does.
it seems like you're taking a messy human script. Even a well-written human script is still messy because, as
Right.
we've covered in past episodes, it's in English, which has a lot of context. It's about the order of the words. There's sarcasm. There's all kinds of things that throw off an AI. Where here we've got sort of a need for machine-friendly flow, a machine-native reasoning conversation.
Exactly. And I'm checking in the background right now. I'm using GPT-5 to generate what we're going to see next. And there's a series of reasoning steps and reviews and making sure that everything is well in line with the enterprise expectations, because obviously there are like many different ways this conversation can take, right? And I'm seeing in the background that this thing that I pasted here is 720 tokens, or let's say words, maybe like 600 words or something. And the response is 30,000 tokens. So we
Whoa.
burned quite a bit of GPT-5 credit for this.
Whew.
But okay, what do you think we're looking at right now?
This looks like a workflow. This looks like a creative way of following a bounded script. It's kind of giving, like, you turn the paragraphs into steps, rules. If this, then that branches, so the voice agent doesn't improvise or ramble. Probably will make fewer mistakes on the calls. Probably results in faster training, consistent compliance lines. You turned some sheet music into a karaoke track with highlighted lyrics and timing, so the singer doesn't miss a beat.
So exactly that. So this engine takes the haphazard human script into something that everyone can follow, especially the machines, and can execute. So this basically has everything that you would require from such a conversation. I'm not gonna ask for the full card number or security code over the phone. I'm gonna send a secure payment link to your mobile or email, right? Like these things are supposed to be part of this conversation. Is that right? Like,
Yes.
how would the agent know if these things don't exist in that conversation? What would they do? Would they ask for the credit card number right away? I don't think that's a great way of doing transactions over the phone, even if you're talking to AI. So this is, by the way, something that it's generated on the fly. So I'm not really sure about every single thing we're looking at. Like I'm also seeing this chart for the very first time, but obviously I built the engine that built this chart, and I built it like hundreds of times myself. So I'm hoping that it's practically covering all the scenarios. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of branches. So like what happens if you're not available? Let's see what this is. Yeah, negative. It's coming from this branch over here. And this question, are you available today? And at the very bottom here, we always need to reschedule, right? If you're not available at all to talk, is this the wrong number? If this is the right number, can we get a new appointment? Now, you might be asking, why are these things in purple? I hear you have such a question.
Yeah, I've been crying here in despair because I don't have the answer to that question.
Why are these things are in purple and these
Why?
squiggly lines. The thing is, these are the variables that we need to collect from the phone call, right? If we don't collect these variables, then the phone call should be inconclusive. And if the person is not available, we should potentially be asking for a better time to call them. And this might happen anytime during the call. Like they might be free when you called them in the very first place, but they might not be free in 2 minutes while you're explaining the situation to them. Does that make sense? And in that case, the conversation should drift to this node over here. And then, maybe the person would say, hey, I'm available, let's go on with it. And then the conversation needs to drift back to where it's supposed to be. But basically, GPT-5 has done a tremendous job of converting the script through the proprietary braid engine that I have created to this workflow. And then what happens, as is the tradition with braid, as all our audience would know, and you would also know, we're going to take this graph and we're going to give this to a voice agent. A voice agent will take this and speak using this flowchart.
Wow.
Which means it's going to cover all the bases, or the necessary bases. It's going to redirect the conversation as it should. It's going to say these things in the script. And, we'll try to get as much information from you as possible. Maybe sell you a warranty extension, or maybe ask you for another appointment. Perfect. Now, haha, I feel like my heartbeat is 120 right now.
Because you showed us how well it should work in theory. So we're all on the edges of our seats here, and I think at a big picture, right? If you take this flow chart, if you've ever worked at an agency, at a call center, or even a supply chain center, or any place, even a place like a restaurant, right, where you have to follow a menu, and there's a certain way to sell the specials. In every single interaction we have from a sales perspective, at a big picture, there is a compliant and measurable conversation system that the leadership team wants you to follow. And this is sort of giving you a strategic way of proliferating that across any language, any region, any industry, any company. So every single step is explicit. And it looks like, because you have this flowchart, you could even audit how the conversations are going or supposed to go. And anytime there's a policy change, well, you can just change the flowchart. You can change this. So it really changes the economy of scale. Once the flow engine exists, new campaigns are configured. It seems like the time to launch new scripts or new updates, it shrinks from months to days, or even hours if you're enacting this with an update. This is, in theory, this is an incredible game changer for everyone.
100%. And this is exactly what we did with this prototype. We have call analysis. So you can actually grade the conversation, how the AI performed, how the user responded, were they positive, were they negative. You can chart the drop-offs, what turns them off, like when do they quit the conversation, when do they want to stop. And in theory, what you could do is, because this is able to call people, right, you can build another voice agent to answer, and you can try different personas to improve your script.
Wow.
So this can turn into a closed system where it feeds itself and improves itself over time. So, you start with this script, with what you prepared, and then you prepare different personas, like the unavailable person, the person who doesn't want to meet, the person who swears on the phone, the person who does not have their credit card with them, different person than the one on the phone, a child maybe. And then you can run these simulations over and over again to see how the conversation is going and then improve it. And this gives you so much ability to level up your game of customer service. I mean, I'm used to IVRs. I've been building IVR solutions for over 10 years now. And I'm still talking to recorded messages.
Yeah.
That claim to understand me, but they don't. Like,
Wow.
they're like, tell me what you want with one word or one sentence. And they're trying to do some NLP, natural language processing, to land me where I need to go. And I never find the correct way. And the first ever IVR product that I built in my career was practically to go around this. I would map out all of the call centers and their phone tree dial maps, press 5, 4, 3, enter your whatever number and press 4, and then you end up with a real human, right? That was the first product that I built, and the phone call would automatically do that for you, so you always get to a human without dealing with the IVR. This is a huge problem, and this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that could be helped with such an approach. So I'm gonna pick up my phone.
Wow.
If you're all ready.
Drum roll, please. Everybody in the chat, drum roll, please. Hit us with some drums.
Yeah, I'd love to see some drum rolls. I need to make sure my phone is not in work focus mode, because then I won't be able to pick up the call. I'm gonna die from excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a $1 trillion problem. I'm thinking about even regional accents, right? If somebody calls you,
exactly.
Let's say you live in Kentucky, or you live in Texas, or you live in London, right? And now you can change the accent of the voice engine. You can stress test it from different persona scripts. Thank you, Grumpy Freud. Appreciate that. I see some drums in the chat. Everybody, please share your drums. Rumble, rumble. That's a good one. I like that. And Armand, I mean, I think we're eager to hear what you got going on.
What I didn't show you, obviously, this graph is editable, right? Such is how Braid should work. It should allow you to augment its intelligence with human intelligence so that you build better flow diagrams. So this is basically like let's clarify this again. You're looking at what Braid could do for a hundreds of billions of dollars company, and it's how Braid could be used in every company automatically in a human augmented fashion. So I'm going to delete this. The application wants me to set an ending node so that we know when the like how the phone call should end. So we save the flowchart. Let's click test and deploy. I'm going to do a test call. And what we see here is the parameters that we have generated in the previous screen. Customer name, phone number, when we purchased the item, the warranty days, and the warranty price. Because if we don't enter this, the phone call will not take place. But here's the kicker. These things are parametric. So you can enter different values for different phone calls. So you can mass call people. Like you can call 300,000 customers all differently based on your database of their records, their names, their phone numbers, when they purchased their device, and so on. So customer name. I am Ryan Farrell. I'm going to enter my phone number.
Yeah, he got that name because when I'm hungry, I am Feral Ryan. So beware.
So let's say the warranty is going to expire in 23 days. And in order to extend it for a year, it should cost me $57, right? Now, the thing is here, you might want to add different campaigns for different people, right? So the
Right.
price also would change based on their maybe purchase year, based on where and when they purchased the device. So, all right.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of email audiences, right? Some people have
Exactly.
already purchased, some people have had a discount.
Exactly. And it should know.
Yeah.
Ideally, this also has a parameter to generate maybe a different flowchart based on different campaigns that you purchased this item from.
So Armand is saving the generated flow, setting the ending node so the call knows how to finish, moving to test and deploy for an outbound test call. And it seems like if you're filling these sample values, anybody could do this, right? Preparing for the next call. You know, if you've ever worked at a data entry center, this is data entry that will actually result in the latest bleeding edge AI technology in practical use cases where prices, campaigns can vary per customer based on purchase year or location. And the system here will know the audience segments. They'll know how to ideally accept a parameter to generate dynamic offers or use a different sales pitch or a different workflow. There's unlimited potential here.
You killed my demo.
I think you're killing it. We're eager to see it.
No, the thing is, like, the AI agent called
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
and you were speaking, and it was like it patiently listened until you finished.
I'm Farrell Ryan. Excuse me. I'll mute my microphone now. Wow.
This was
Shadow agent.
crazy. I really, really love this. So let's try again.
Good day. I am calling from Awesome White Goods. My name is Clara. May I speak with Mr. Ryan Farrell?
Hi, I'm Ryan Farrell. How can I help you?
Thank you, Mr. Farrell. Are you available to talk for about 3 to 5 minutes now?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Thank you for that. For transparency, our conversations will be recorded. How are you, Mr. Farrell?
I'm doing great, Clara. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope you are satisfied with the washing machine you purchased from us in 2022. I see that the warranty of your washing machine, which was for 3 years, will expire in 23 days. I'm calling to offer you the opportunity to extend your warranty for 1 more year under the assurance of Awesome White Goods. By paying only $57, you can extend your warranty for another year, and I can assist you right away if you wish. Would you like me to help you, Mr. Farrell?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really in a good position to talk right now. I'm on a live stream.
No problem at all. Would you like me to schedule a callback appointment at a time that suits you?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I think that will work.
Thank you. What date and time work best for you for a brief follow-up call?
Just a second.
will note-
I'm not sure I really understand where you're calling from again. Could you please repeat me? I couldn't hear you.
Of course. I'm calling from Awesome White Goods, the company where you purchased your washing machine. We're offering a 1-year warranty extension.
I mean,
Now,
wait, I got a washing machine from you, but I also have an espresso machine, and it's actually not working because I don't really know how to do an espresso. Could you help me with that?
I'm happy to assist with the washing machine warranty extension today. For your espresso machine issue, I'd recommend contacting the manufacturer's support directly. Let's focus on setting up a convenient time for me to call you back about the warranty extension. What day and time would work best for you?
How about tomorrow, 4 p.m.?
Perfect. I have noted your appointment for tomorrow at 4 p.m. on this number. Would you like me to send a quick reminder by text message before the call?
No, I think this is all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll call you tomorrow at 4 p.m. sharp. Have a great day.
Oh my
and
goodness. Give a round of applause to the AI. The first
it
AI
ends the
voice call
call
that
as
went
well.
well. That is the best. I'm sorry, but that is the best voice agent AI call I've ever seen or heard. And it was live in front of hundreds of people. That's incredible.
It is incredible, but what is also incredible is that it allows you to interrupt it, picks up the conversation, does not deviate from the conversation, and also knows when to end the conversation and can actually hang up. Which
You
is, come to
tried,
think of it,
and you tried to really distract it, deviate it, interrupt it. You changed the subject. You said no. I mean, you really switched gears, and it really kept to its game plan like a real person would, in a very polite and patient manner. I mean, I'm sorry, that was insane. That was ridiculous.
100% agree. That's how I feel about this technology. And that's why I've been telling everyone, like, this is the best work of my life. It's really working. This entire thing is consistent every time. And you can actually measure its consistency because you have all the call transcripts and everything, and you can analyze them with further braid. And again, I really, really want to emphasize it knows when to end the call. Like, just open ChatGPT app on your phone and try to talk to it and say goodbye. And try to insist that you want it to stop. It's just not going to do that. It's not going to end the conversation. Voice agents don't really end conversations until you do. But it's very unnatural. But if you're talking to a very old person who also, like, who never does that for a phone call, like all their grandchildren are hanging up on the phone so that they don't have to find the button. Will you be on the phone for like 2 hours? That
Yes.
doesn't seem right. So yeah, this is basically what Braid can do in an enterprise setting for outbound sales calls.
Shout out to Killer Bees in the audience. Left us a message. Crazy how you steered the conversation in another direction, but that she acknowledged it and then moved on to the core of the conversation. Can you explain a little bit how the framework, how the bounded reasoning tech did that?
So this chart that we zoomed in at different places practically maps out all of these use cases, different ways this conversation can go. And then it doesn't do, obviously it cannot map out every single thing, right? Because you can also ask it to tell you a story, or ask it to make you, an espresso, or tell you a recipe for a whiskey sour, which is something I'd be very much interested in. But the thing is, and AI agents do this. Like, go to any AI agent on the market, ask it to do something else, and they comply, because in the end they're a helpful assistant to do that for you. But here, we're practically constraining their reasoning, their outputs, their thought process, their response process in a flowchart, which is let me see if I can pull up the Braid version of this flowchart, like the texts that we feed to the agents. Not sure I'm going to be able to show it to you.
Well, that's no problem. And I think for those that were listening to the call, or maybe have just joined us, what we just witnessed was Armand actually showed us the back-end framework of an AI call. And this is a framework that is editable and auditable and all that good stuff. And when he deployed it and ran the test call, the agent introduced itself, confirmed availability, delivered the recording notice, and presented the $57 warranty extension. And when Armand diverted the conversation completely to an espresso machine request, it acknowledged it, then patiently steered back to the warranty goal, and also scheduled a callback for tomorrow at 4 p.m., offered a text message reminder, and cleanly ended the call on its own. Armand did not need to initiate, hey, let's end this conversation. It knew, like a human being, it actually thought, okay, this is a satiating end to this conversation. And we got some more comments in the chat here. But Armand, we'll let you go ahead.
If you pull up the screen sharing again, I'm showing a portion of what it looks like on the back end of things. This is very similar to what we showed last week, right? With like how Braid actually looks. And it's a little bit theory, AI or large language model theory. But what you see here is there is very little guidance, but very concise guidance. From step C5, go to step C7 is a very clear guidance, right? And it cannot deviate. How does it know where it is? Well, we write it at the end of the line. This is the event. This is what you need to say on this state. If you're on state C7, say, thanks, I have sent the summary email with your price of amount parameter. So there's practically zero noise here. It's all signal, and it's all signaling the AI to really focus on this conversation, on this flow. And it's super, super straightforward for any model to follow this and to act with this. So what, yeah, I guess we can now talk about the comments. There are a couple of things that I would love to talk more about.
Yeah. I always got to acknowledge Grumpy Freud, and it will keep getting better. What would it look like for it to self-improve? Interesting. Can the AI learn from these conversations that they're having with this advanced framework?
So in theory, it can, but that's also something that I would have to invent. I'm not being sassy here. The thing is, as we have shown in the benchmarks, this is taking existing models and really amping them up in terms of reasoning, right? And I haven't seen yet a model that's beating any model with Braid. So like bring whatever model you have with Braid, it's more intelligent. So in order for it to self-improve, you need a mechanism to grade the output and judge if it's correct or not, which suggests that that grading model should be smarter. But which model is smarter than a model with Braid? So how are you going to judge it? But what we can do, and what we are considering to do, without revealing too much, I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from the thing that prevented last week's episode, which would be this episode. What we can do is, if we give these outputs to humans and say, could you please tell us which flowchart, which script, which requests and responses are better in your eyes, and get their feedback, get human feedback, then we could feed it back and get it to self-improve, get it to produce better and better reasoning diagrams.
And all of this information, again, is being logged, right? And is auditable. Yeah. So with the training and logging every branch and ending calls cleanly without the user hanging up, I think you'll find that this is more consistent than an employee who needs to go on bathroom breaks, may have an attitude because they didn't get to take their 15-minute break. This is going to follow the plan every single time. And I want to go to the next comment here. Thought this was interesting. Grumpy, you're on fire today. Thanks again. Could you set it up to bargain on price? What about haggling, Armand? Can we have AI haggling like we're on a street corner?
I have to tell you, this is in the original scripts, this is one of the things that the company asked me to look into. Because obviously people will want to negotiate on the price, right? Like you're offering 57, but they're going to ask for 50. And you can definitely figure out exactly how that mechanism should work. Like we tried it with, okay, first reject, and then you can apply a 10% discount, and then apply a 10% discount, and from then on the price is whatever you agreed on. And then obviously, once you do that, there are prompt injection attacks that you need to talk about, because then people can, like, once they figure out that they can talk the price down, and even if the price is set to a 10% discount, what if they try to get a 20% discount? What if they try to get a free warranty upgrade just by saying different things. And this is where consistency and reliability is important. Then the AI agent should reject them. Why does it reject those things? Because in its instructions, all of the steps are clearly laid out in a very clearly machine readable text. So there's no external step that it can switch to when you offer something else, like give it to me at 80% discount doesn't exist there. So it does not do that. And there you have like several catch-all phrases for anything that steers the conversation, really out of focus. And then you catch it there on a separate node and then bring it back to the conversation. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of work to do there, but we set it up to have a bargain on the price, and it was actually really fun.
And I think people are also curious about how we're making money from this and how we're going to benefit from this, or any investors would benefit from this. Killer B said, it's not clear to me whether this is like an app, an agentic application on platform V1 enabled by Braid, or if you're just showing the standalone Braid. And the follow-up comment is, if this is an app, I can imagine that many corporations would be interested.
Right.
Logical reasoning on your part, Killer Bees. Armand, you want to expand on this for us?
So this is basically both. What I'm showing is a demo of Braid in action. So it's clearly on the platform itself. And not sure if we're going to have time today to talk about the platform or show the platform. We have shared some teasers on X about the upcoming launch. But Braid is already utilized on the platform. We're going to embed it even further into different parts of all the parts of reasoning of the platform. So it can be set up as an app. But also, as we have discussed before, we're going to be open sourcing the idea behind Braid, right? And we need use cases to showcase how it can be used. So it's also a like a standalone Braid thing. I can tell you that we're not doing demos or prototypes only for fun without future benefits or investments. That's all I can say for now. But we are in the process of turning this into a standalone product as well. Like, just see the ability of taking in regular text, turning into AI reasoning. I mean, you can apply that to everything, right? That is a product out there on its own. So
next comment. Nice, but it's in English. You're right. We're adding full multilingual support. I'd imagine you can put this in different languages. Flows and voices could be localized, as we've discussed, and why not include Turkish? Maybe we'll have a Turkish demo or a Turkish season of Shadow Agents. What do you think, Armand?
So the beautiful thing is, since this is machine language, you can give the same reasoning, exact same reasoning, and ask it to speak in any other language. So any language your voice models can speak, Braid can also speak, even if you keep the diagram in English. And obviously, when we tried this, it's a multinational corporation with, I think, operations in 150 countries. So like it has to be multilingual. So obviously Turkish, I think, is what, like 6th, 7th most spoken language in the world. It supports all of those languages that you'd have customers speaking. And this has huge potential as a technology, of course.
Killer Bees back again. So the web interface you saw is created running on the platform. I think people are ready to log in and use it.
No, it does not run on the platform. It's a demo that I built on the side. But folks, this is a demo that I built on the side for today.
Just for you.
That's what the technology can enable me to do. And obviously, this is supposed to show how Braid and OpenServ can be useful outside of the platform as well, right? In different contexts, because in the roadmap we're talking about white labeling. We're talking about giving away access to our platform in various different settings. Like this needs to be running in a airtight data center. You don't run trillion-dollar companies on public cloud. So there are multiple variations of this. And the demo that I built, I know it looks very pretty. I know it looks very polished, but it was just a demo, just for today.
Nice. Somebody said magic. Magic. Yeah. Yeah. A quality call with AI is considered magic in 2025. And that's wrong. It should not be. We should not be settling for subpar, or I should say poor and bad AI voice calls. I was using ChatGPT on my vacation to show my kids the voice agent mode. And it was alarming to me how quickly they were amazed by it and how quickly they got tired of it. They got bored with it. It ceased to become amazing because it was so much monotonous conversations and repeating itself. And at a certain point, it kind of becomes patronizing, right? Oh, you're really smart. And that's such a good way of putting, okay, calm down, right? This conversation was not patronizing. It was actually very straightforward. It was business-like. And I think if you're someone who is open to answering a telemarketer's call or a cold call, you'd expect them to be get right to the point, as this did. And to that context, yeah, go ahead, Armand.
I actually remembered something. So I told you in the very beginning, I should put my phone out of work focus mode, right? Because what happens is in work focus mode, whenever I receive a phone call, my voicemail drops in. And then, I don't get a notification on the screen. And for a lot of time, I was like, why is this not calling me on the first try? Why do I have to call me again for me to see the call? Because obviously that's what Apple does. Like when the same number is calling you twice, it shows up on your phone. And then I figured out that it's actually speaking to my voicemail as well. And what my voicemail says, I'm not available right now. And I caught Clara telling my voicemail, oh, that's great. That's no problem. Like, would you be able to meet if I call you like tomorrow at whatever, at 4 p.m.? It was like crazy. This is really sentient. It's even able to talk to voicemail,
Wow.
which was not in the script, by the way. It's not in the script to talk to voicemails, but
and that begs the question: can you have a response where it can understand the tonality of a voicemail beep and thusly recognize that it is time to leave a voicemail and leave a bounded response?
Exactly. And that's practically what happened in an emergent way, and which is the quality that I love in agents most. We're seeing emergent properties that we did not program, and those are what we should keep and improve, and the others we should tame and make more reliable.
Amazing. So we're almost at the 1 hour mark, and I want to set the stage and take a step back here for everyone. Can you please tie the knot for us here, right? Can you better connect the relationship dots between what we've just witnessed and the OpenServ platform for our audience? Because you are the CTO of OpenServ, and we are probably the best place to build an agentic application. People want to get their hands on it, and they're all excited about the platform, especially Platform V 1.0. So where is this in relation to OpenServ in the plans in the future, and what should we be excited about?
So we talked a lot about AI reasoning. We talked about automation, which are two separate things, unfortunately. And OpenServ is the first and the most capable autonomous multi-agent orchestration platform. The goal is that you set up your workflow, you use Braid and our agents to create that workflow for you in the first place. And we have shown teasers of this, which is coming up next week, basically. Then, sorry, you can customize it if you like. You can build a giant graph of automation with all triggers and integrations. Like when I receive a Telegram message like this, do this thing on my calendar, and then send me a message on Slack, and then send me an email. Or when I receive an email, add this to this pile, and if it's important, send me a notification on Telegram. blah, blah, whatever you want. And soon you're going to be able to directly use Braid within the no-code agents on the platform. Currently, it's not visible to the public, but that's something we're going to be working on right after the release. And the goal is to give everyone the power to build the smartest agents on the planet enabled by our technology without writing a single line of code. And then, if you're an enterprise, you can take this on and build your workflows here. If you're an open source developer, you can build agents using our shadow agents, and they're active on the platform. You can make money from it, all enabled and enhanced by Braid and the reasoning engine that we have built. So it's all going to come together in the world's smartest autonomous agent automation platform. Why don't I hear you? Are you muted? Or is it only me?
Oh, it was me. We got another good comment before we close out here from Killer Bees. The voice is still a little bit AI-like. Is it possible to make them sound more like a real human on a call?
Right. Definitely. So the first version of this app that I built used 11 Labs for the voices, which is way more realistic. Here I'm using OpenAI's voices. So this is using OpenAI's real-time API. So we're enhancing OpenAI's real-time API with our reasoning. So we're using the default voices that they're offering. It's practically on them. I can tell you from a theoretical point of view, it's definitely possible to make them sound more like a real human on a call. In fact, if you're an enterprise, the plan would be to train your own custom voice model to sound exactly like your call center employees, because obviously they also go through a training of using their voice, because like there's a brand voice that you should use, like certain ways to pronounce certain words or certain phrases. So you can actually capture those details with a custom model. And definitely you can use Braid with them as well.
Absolutely. And if you check out the OpenServ platform, you can see we're connected to VO3 and other video creation applications. And voices is definitely something where there's so many different types of tonalities and examples you can be trained on. We could make an agent that sounds like Armand or Ryan and replicate it and use it, and probably make a fake episode of Shadow Agents. That would be a great Shadow Agents season finale. We'll talk about that a little bit.
We actually have, remember I asked the chat on Telegram whether they would like to use your voice or hear your voice in one of the podcasts that we created.
I have been dodging that request. Yes. But because so it's a very valuable.
That model has my voice. Yes. So if you let me train on your voice, we can actually produce this on OpenServ.
You heard it here first, people. You're going to get the AI Mellow, my name is Brian version coming very soon. That's why we call it the reasoning edge. This is just the tip of the iceberg here. So yeah, wrapping this up today, we turned a very messy script into a live bounded voice agent that handled interruptions. It scheduled a call back and ended cleanly. It was auditable. Everything was compliant to the plan. And as you can see, this is ready for scale. So you could set up a call center with different voices, tonalities, accents. You can audit it, you can check it, you can train it in a matter of seconds. And this is something that will definitely be an inevitability when you talk about all of the huge needs, as Armand mentioned, with his experience, over a decade of experience in this kind of field outside of machine learning. This is something that is $1 trillion opportunity in and of itself. And this is just one use case of Braid in action. And it's all coming soon and sooner to OpenServ. So if you're paying attention, just be aware there's something coming and shipping every single day. So make sure you follow us on X at OpenServ AI, and definitely join our Telegram. We're almost at 3,000 members now. Jump in and join the conversation of the smartest people in the world who are testing and trying out this stuff every single day. And coming soon, super short demos showing what works today, from this voice agent to new no-code flow edits. And we're going to come out with different kinds of ways to use Serve token, of course. And you'll be able to jump in and make your own apps. We believe that the first single founder unicorn will be built on OpenServ, and we're fighting like heaven to make it happen. So I want to end with Armand's final statements, but we did have one more comment I wanted to get to. During the V1 launch, what can we expect in terms of marketing? How many enterprises will be involved? So I think you can already tell people believe and see with their own eyes and ears the use case here for any major organization to change everything about what they do. And it's a no-brainer. If you've ever gotten a telemarketing call or you got an AI call, you immediately hang up the phone. But if it was a little bit more convincing, a little bit more to the point, and helped us get to what we all want to, which is a satiating solution or a next step, actual action being created, we would probably be more willing to use this technology, and companies would probably make a lot more money. So, Armand, can you give us a hint into how many enterprises you think would be interested in this? And maybe it will be also get your view on the next 5 years, 10 years. Where do you think this could head to and be morphed into reality?
So this is just like the very, very early days of AI and large language models. And there's so much hidden potential in them. Braid is our first attempt at uncovering it. And we were in the honeymoon phase as well, right? Like, we're playing with AI. Companies are spending millions on AI without really thinking, because they need to get out something cool out the door fast. But the reality is sinking in, that these models need to be more affordable and smarter, more reliable, more accurate. And who's going to enable that? Well, here we have a solution that can help. So just like every single enterprise right now in the world are shouting at their teams, hey, we need you to do something with AI, incorporate AI in our services and products. I'm assuming soon it's going to be, we did that, but now they need to be smarter and more affordable. Do something about that. We need some cost cutting, better responses, better service, wider fields of operations. And with this technology, I mean, I don't know, any company that uses AI in the world is our target. Muted again.
And I think this is a good, nice note to close out on. My girlfriend is giving me the look because I should be cooking right now, but I told her, no, Armand is cooking harder. Okay. So you're creating disputes in real homes across the world, Armand.
I actually right now need to go and do that for some significant person. So
very important. Well, everybody's been so enthralled with this amazing conversation. We're glad that you've enjoyed us, and I hope it was satisfying to your ears and your stomachs. Go out there and prosper. Test out the technology for yourself. Log into the platform for OpenServ, and next week will be Token 2049. I will be there in Singapore. If you want to meet me, fly out to Singapore. I will see you there. And a huge news I hear is on the way if you're curious about marketing for OpenServ. So everybody join the conversation. Stay tuned and follow Armand on his X. He's posting more and he's dropping some gems, Dasher SW. Armand, why don't you close this out and tell the people goodbye?
Should I do it the AI way or my way?
Definitely the AI way. I mean, the humans are out of these call centers.
Thank you, Ryan. This was a great call. Thank you for your cooperation. I don't know. My brain is. I did like 200 phone calls with Clara in the last 2 days, but this was a great episode, and I'm very happy that we were able to show this to everyone in a live demo, and it worked great. And yeah, we're gonna connect on Telegram, and I'm also looking for my AMA, Ryan. So
it's on the way.
Where is that? Yeah,
a lot on the way.
Well, all right, take care, and we're gonna see you later. This was a great opportunity. Thanks for watching us, and let's see what we're gonna cook next.
Stay tuned. OpenServ out.